What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Season Gaming Bitcast, episode 361. It is a fine fall Sunday morning here. Hoag's getting his first snow. People are kind of settling in. The holidays are approaching, and we are here to talk about games as always. And Travis might fall asleep halfway through the show, but we'll get through that.
Always a risk.
Yeah. We are back. Travis got home as we sit here like 5 hours ago from traveling, so he's a little out of it, but he did show up. He is in attendance. How you doing, man, other than being dead tired?
I am a spent force this week, but it's okay. Yeah, man, playing games, doing working stuff. It's been a good time. How about you?
I'm good. Pretty much exactly what you described. Very busy career work, playing games on the side. That's what we do. So yeah, my kids are unlike Hoag and many of my friends. My kids are actually grown up and out of the house now, which is a very weird feeling when you've raised kids for a long time. But it does create more time for games, which is cool, I guess. So, yeah.
I know that is. My kids never talk to me anymore.
Yeah. That's okay. When you have your new ones with D, you just move on. Your old kids kind of get left behind.
It only takes a couple days for the web egg to hatch and
the egg to hatch.
Yeah, the hundreds of little spiders with Travis heads and a necktie just crawl out and reach maturity a couple days later.
I think we need to get tied to get the AI to give us that picture, huh?
Just little.
That's horrifying. Hoag.
Yeah,
the family man, still playing games with the kids and the family. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. We had a good time playing games this week, actually. Me and the kids. The new Jackbox Party Pack came out. Has a very nice family-friendly button, which it hasn't had in the past. So that was nice.
Does it? Okay.
And so we played some Jackbox. My youngest daughter, had just gotten her first cellular phone, and so she was excited to participate on her own in these things, and we had a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, Jackbox is that annual November release nowadays. I have several of those that we play with the family on events, but they're fun. What'd you say, Trev?
Late October. It's always like the third weekend.
Gotcha. Okay. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about, obviously you saw the thumbnail, which is around PlayStation heading to the cloud with the portal. And some other updates there. We've got GTA 6 getting what we already joked about earlier this year. We knew it would get, which is another big delay to fall of 2026. We got some games to talk about, including Arc Raiders, continued growth and success, and a few other things to get to. So we will do that. Let's catch up with our community before we get into it, though. So we've got Shout Out Vintage. Willow is here this week, gifting 5 season gaming memberships. Willow, legend as always. Thank you very much. I see a couple people I know that got some memberships, so thank you, including our good friends over at Nerd Chat, Mr. Bacon. Good morning, Bacon. Good morning, Bacon's a weird sentence to say, but there you go.
I say it every morning.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Good morning, Bacon. You have that alarm clock that cooks bacon next to the bed? You know that one?
I do not know that one. Didn't Michael Scott hurt his foot in one of those?
Yes.
That was a George Foreman grill. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Because he makes bacon next to the bed, obviously.
Willow, thank you as always. We got a member comment from Mr. Tal Zochi, Travis.
Tal Zochi has been a member for 35 months, and he writes, Sup chat, sup Bitcasters. I'm just here to see if Hoag will hold down his crew here. Ains might be a tough task. Lol. Have a great show. I especially like that all of these are periods.
I'm not going to hold anybody down. I'm here to lift people up. That is what I'm all about.
Also, .ains sounds like the worst extension ever.
It is. It never works.
Yeah.
It's broken. It's a mess. I wouldn't use it, honestly. It is a true story, and I forget what it stands for now, but there is a certification in my line of work that people have, and the acronym for it is AINS. So there's people in my company who have AINS next to their name, and it just looks really damn odd. So
hell yeah.
I've never been a certification AINS.
You get your Hoag certification?
Yeah, no, I've never been my own certification, so enjoy.
We've got Tide's picks, of course, and forgive me. Dom an idiot, of course. This is us heading to the cloud, apparently, but I guess in a godly way.
Oh, very cool. Wow, I look
nice.
Oh yeah.
I would like to point out, gentlemen,
I'm
sitting on the throne,
the bottom of the controller for
put some respect out there.
That's actually how I hold my controller. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
Yeah, you're doing that thing where you're holding it outward again. It always does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I didn't even notice.
You got to show it to frame, right? So, like, if the AI is pulling info from like TV shows, trying to show somebody playing a video game, they often try to show that they're playing.
Imagine if you could play that way. If you were like practiced enough to actually play with the controller facing out, that would be a sick party trick.
Hey man, I've seen people stream them beating Elden Ring with like a guitar controller. I don't see why you couldn't pull this off.
I saw somebody beat Dark Souls 3 with bananas.
Yeah, with the Donkey Kong Congos. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Although to be fair,
this should be your profile picture on socials. Honestly,
it's pretty good, isn't it? I think
you look pretty,
not bad.
You look pretty sick, to be honest.
I'm not sure I've looked better than that. Yeah, that's about right.
It's pretty good.
I said too. I don't know if you heard me, but I am sitting on the throne here, boys. So you better recognize.
Oh yeah.
I look like the Greek god of twinks.
But what about your picture?
Oh God, I was gonna say you're a god. You're playing games, and yet you still somehow look generally unamused, Travis.
Yeah,
but
that's accurate.
For your
though.
description.
Yeah,
for your description, it's good.
Also,
of course,
I like
Hope
that
has the chiseled jaw as usual.
Yeah, of course.
I can't help my handsomeness, gentlemen.
He doesn't really fit the art style here, though. He's certainly the outlier. He looks like he's from a different show or cartoon than
I got a dude bro Western cartoon aesthetic.
Yes, no doubt. But thank you, Tide, as always. It's good ones. I appreciate that. Jesus, I think you need that subtitle or like that handle on your social media, like the Greek god of twinks, Travis. That's perfect. Yeah. I also wanted to call this out. I said I would call this out, Travis. I didn't know if you're going to be here, but it's an interesting comment. On from our show last week when we were talking about Arc Raiders, one of our regulars, Big Box, left a comment, and I said I would bring it up this week to talk about. I think this is less in your realm, Hogue, but since Travis is here, so. He said, he or she said, Ains, I typically enjoy similar games to you. My genre preference, I'd say, is PvP sandbox. For reference, I have nearly 900 hours in the finals. Good man. Good man or good woman. Is this just a honeymoon period talking? Or is PvP with no long-form progression completely dead now? Arc Raiders feels like a revelation to me. I feel like excuse me. I feel like I can't go back to the finals, Fortnite, Rocket League, etc. Does Arc Raiders feel like we've crossed a Rubicon in PvP? Is the PvP market going to avalanche into this long-form progression direction in the coming years? What's your take? So I said, rather than typing out a response, I said we'd bring it up on the show because you and I are both putting time into Arc Raiders. I've put a lot of time into Arc Raiders.
Bought Arc Raiders. Been playing Arc Raiders.
Have you?
Yeah.
You solo queuing?
How bad has that been going for you?
I am solo queuing. I have returned home safely once.
Nice.
It was a great deal of fun. I brought home some wires. Very exciting. But look, I want to tell you guys, and it brings me, I was going to say no pleasure, but extreme pleasure to tell you that you were absolutely wrong on this for me. I really, really love Arc Raiders. Yes. And I think where people get confused with me is that I don't need narrative. I don't need plot. I don't need story as much as I need narrative ingredients. I need flavors that can build a story in my own head or later on if the developers so choose. And Arc Raiders has spent all of this time with like little videos between the things that you're doing, with cool little graphics for the people that you're talking to when you're buying items, with videos for the new locations that you unlock and all this great stuff, that it feels like they could drop a real story on top of this game whenever they felt like it or never at all. And so I love the aesthetic. It's got this 70s, or as I like to think of it, early Epcot vibe with everything going on around it. It's cool to fight robots on the surface of the earth and then go and hide in your underground lair like you're in the Matrix. And it's just really well done. Really, really enjoying Arc Raiders. I am terrible at it. I can't tell exactly how much of that is all your stuff is crap and everything can eat you instantly, and how much of it is you personally, Hogue, are crap, and so you need to get better. It's probably a combination of both.
It's probably a combination. I will tell you that I'm now over. So I guess we're just jumping in Arc Raiders, and we kind of touch on Big Box's question here. But I'm now, since release, over 40 hours on Arc Raiders. I am just on Xbox, not including all my friends on PlayStation or Steam. I'm 7th on my friends list in time. I have now, I think, 4 people on my friends list over 100 hours. The game came out 8 days ago.
I'm at 2.
In Arc Raiders, oh, you're crazy early, Hogue. But what I would suggest, Hogue, and I have found, as have my friends, is first of all, solo queuing seems to be more friendly than squad queuing. Although this past week we've had some amazing squads, so I actually turned on my proximity chat, which I don't usually do in games because I'm just fed up with, we all know, right, what goes on online sometimes. I have been shocked at how much fun and friendliness I've had with the community lately. And I could go into a whole bunch of examples, but so I would suggest that if you're solo queuing, don't be afraid to get in the chat. There's a little yellow box next to your name when your proximity chat is on. And if someone's close to you, just say, hey, I'm just questing, just hanging out, guys, or, whatever. And usually, more often than not, people have been very, very friendly.
I've been using my emotes. I honestly don't know how the chat buttons work between the toggles and the various things.
It's a little weird. You could even, so they're using AI to even do voice modulation. So you can select voices from within the game as your voice to come through the game. So you don't even have to use your real voice if you don't want to, which is kind of cool.
I really regardless.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I really love it. I ping everything. I it's got a codex. You get to learn about the robots. I do ping everything in solo because they have like little voice commands for whatever you ping.
So, but it's also good to help you track movement of like where things are.
Yes, no, I was learning about the different little robots, and it was really enjoyable. And they killed me so fast, so it's still enjoyable. The thing that I will say the most about Arc Raiders that I was not convinced would actually apply to me, but absolutely does, is that you just have this constant notion of being like, well, that sucked. Let's jump back in the tube. And all right, well, that was a fun 20 minutes, but I didn't get exactly what I wanted. Let's get back in there. And it's just constant of, all right, check with the chicken, get back in the tube. And
that's Scrappy. Thank you.
It is Scrappy, my rooster friend. Yes.
So excuse me. So to Big Box's point, I just want to kind of answer the question more directly. I feel like what Arc Raiders has done extremely well, and I've talked with people all week about this because this game's taken over. If you didn't see, it actually broke its concurrent player record just yesterday. It passed just on Steam alone 415,000 concurrent. It is all over social media. It has just exploded on the scene, and I think what's really interesting about it, to Big Box's point, is, and what you just said, Hogue, I think nails it, is there's something here that's almost indefinable to some degree of this. You always feel like either there's something right over that next minute that's going to be interesting, or even to your point, say you get killed, you lose your stuff. It's like you can use a free loadout, or you can just bring some cheap stuff, right, and go right back in and get right back to it.
The free loadout button is a revelation, because as soon as I found that, it's all I'm running with. No safe pockets, just dying and losing everything every time. It's the Hogue way. Get out there, raid some arcs poorly.
But I think that's the point, is like whatever it has found in its design that gets people just continually playing and playing and playing and playing and going in. And I think the dynamism of what happens within the game world, what can happen with other raiders, right, other people, and what can happen with the Arc, all combined in this formula to make something truly, truly special. And I think it speaks to what we mentioned last week, which is that they made this game, started developing this game back in 2018. They planned to release it in 2022, but when they were testing it, they internally thought to themselves, this is not fun. Like, they had designed this big game world and everything you see today, but like the loop of it was not working. And so they went to, this is from Patrick Sunderland, their CEO. They went to Nexon, their publisher, and they basically said, hey, we need more time on this. And Nexon apparently was super supportive and said, take your time, do whatever you need. And they spent the next 3 years, since 2021 to now, when release, right, refining it. And whatever they've done or figured out, I think has really hit the mark. Because I'm telling you, this game it's taken over. It's everywhere.
No, it's so good. It is going to be my game. And I know we talked about Battlefield 6. I bought both of these really looking for something to sink some time into that is outside my bailiwick in terms of multiplayer, not narrative-based, that kind of thing. But I've had some enjoyment with those. Diablo 4 is narrative-ish, but not really. Skull and Bones, no. Dear God, don't go to Skull and Bones for the story. So, no, but I mean, these are the games that were my kind of forever, the things that I sunk time into. I'm not trying to have a Skull and Bones discussion, believe me. But so I did this, and like Battlefield 6, I can see why it's good. I respect it more than I was enjoying it. Arc Raiders, I said, $40, let's give it a flyer, which is really one of the reasons it's working, I think, so well, is it can get to that, let's give it a flyer type price. I jump in, and I'm like, oh, this is it. This is what I was looking for, and played it for 2 solid hours. I say it's 2 hours because it's one session for me, essentially. But just really, really great stuff. Very excited to play it more. Have opened up 1 location and looking forward to 5 more, whatever's in that map. And just, I really think the progression is great. So in answer to the commenter's question, I think to some extent, we've been moving towards meta progression on all this stuff. Like the naked arena where, hey, I've got a great KD and I'm winning all these matches, has been gone for a long time. Is this another step forward? Maybe. I don't know. The workbenches and everything else seems like it could be. I think extraction shooter obviously lends itself towards that kind of large, long-form progression because you're bringing things back. And if you're me, you're losing everything you ever earned or ever brought to the battlefield with you. So you wind up going almost naked because I'm going to die anyway. Let's see what happens. Which is a self-fulfilling prophecy when you go almost naked into a battlefield, but here we go. So it's really, I think, the natural progression of what was happening with PvP before. Arc Raiders, at least for me in solo queue right now, is essentially a really good PvE game that it just so happens you're playing with eight other people that can also shoot you and stop your PvE game real quick if they so choose. So it's really more of the feel that I got from Destiny. And I know a lot of people played Crucible or played Raids or anything in Destiny, but I had always played the Destiny franchise for running around on my own and then seeing some other people occasionally.
Yeah.
Well,
to answer the question, I feel that the just hop into a arena and fight multiplayer situation has been gone for a while. I think that, and also if you've played any extraction shooter, Arc Raiders really does almost nothing new in the extraction shooter genre. Like the free loadout when you lose your gear, that's like in every extraction shooter. The like meta progression and unlocking new destinations, that's in all of them. Like if you played the marathon beta any of the times that came out, like it is pretty much on the money exactly what Arc Raiders is doing. The difference is that
Arc Raiders does a lot better. But sorry,
yeah, that's exactly the point. Arc Raiders does a lot of it better, pretty much all of it better, and it did it at launch. And I think that's the difference. It's gained gravity from that way. Like, I will say though, there's a lot of extraction shooters I played though where I got my hopes up and really freaking enjoyed it, and then it imploded. There's actually a long history of extraction shooters imploding. Like my favorite extraction shooter before Arc Raiders was this game called Delta Force, which is a absolutely fantastic game. If you go on Steam though, you'll see that it's been review bombed, and with good reason. It got basically taken over by cheaters, and a bunch of other stuff happened to it. There's extraction shooters that have died because they just didn't pump out content fast enough. And so there's this strange roller coaster in the extraction shooter world where a lot of them launch with lots of promise, and then years later you go back to their community and it's just a graveyard. And that's just because it's really hard to maintain these things and keep them alive and keep the community positive and all the stuff that you have to do to make an extraction shooter successful. But right now it feels very good because it gets one thing that a lot of extraction shooters fail at: technical performance. They don't run super well. They're made with a shoestring budget. this isn't that. Runs amazing.
Yeah, it's freaking gorgeous.
Great. Yeah, looks absolutely amazing and runs super well. I also was playing it. I was traveling a lot this week, as Ains mentioned, and I played it a ton on the ROG Ally Xbox, which is, I mean, it runs surprisingly well on that device. So yeah, it runs well. The community isn't toxic yet. Doesn't have a bunch of cheaters yet. I don't know if that's because they've just gotten lucky and it's a new launch and it's going to get filled with them later.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yet it feels right.
If you go and look at other extraction shooters, that happens eventually. Almost never at the beginning, but it happens, and it can really ruin a game. It gets the loot right and the progression right, but I think that a lot of people, like this guy's comment, Big Box, his comment about like this feels like a revelation or whatever. Like, I think that's because there hasn't been a uber successful extraction shooter yet. Right now, all of the extraction shooters that are successful have been kind of on the same level as PUBG when that came out, where you could see the promise in it, but there wasn't really a AAA feeling, super polished answer. And then Fortnite came out, and PUBG basically disappeared overnight, and Fortnite became the game. And a lot of people
PUBG
think
is
of
one of
that.
the most played games in the world today.
Yes, I know. But compared to Fortnite, it is very unsuccessful. You know, if you're just basing it off of that comparison, because Fortnite became the battle royale, and now a lot of people don't even know what PUBG is because they saw Fortnite as the first one that hit that like spotlight, right?
I agree. Our creators feels like it could be that Fortnite moment,
right? Yeah, I think when Escape from Tarkov came out, everybody was waiting for the Fortnite of this genre, the extraction shooter genre. Will our creators be it? I don't know. It's kind of too early to tell because I've been fooled before, right, by extraction shooters. It seems like they had a lot of promise, but right now I think it's I mean, that comment is indicative of the fact that this is really breaking through for a lot of people who don't have a lot of exposure with extraction shooters, and I think that's awesome because it is a very cool idea that, like, as soon as you play your first extraction shooter, you're like, this is amazing. Why isn't there like a AAA polished version of it? And it took companies years to make one. I mean, Bungie has been trying to make a AAA extraction shooter unsuccessfully for 6-7 years. I mean, it's been a long time. So it's cool, man. I'm very excited for this, but I'm also like a little nervous for if they can hold on to it and keep things going. I have a lot of faith in this company. I mean, as Ains likes to talk about, like the finals is an incredibly like well-maintained game. Like, it's always getting new content. They really know how to do community engagement and feedback and all that stuff. And so I have a lot of faith that they're going to nail that, but there's like other questions, like, can they keep it from kind of dying under its own weight when they start adding stuff onto it? Can they keep up fast enough now that they have a much bigger audience that's playing it? Can they keep the cheaters out as they start to scale and start to see people try to game the system? Like, all those questions I have no answer for. And so future uncertain, but right now, like, I'm writing the review today, and I pretty much only have positive things to say about it. Like, you guys have already kind of waxed poetic on it, but it is it feels very good right now. So
yeah, I mean, the little bits that I wanted to convey is just this level of polish, and it's little shit that doesn't really matter that really works for me. Like when you say you want to enter a game and it does the little cutscene of your guy walking up to the tubes, and then it has a little like almost theme park roller coaster-esque video of you getting shot into the surface. It's like that works so well as opposed to just a loading screen and a countdown timer, and it puts you into this space in a way that other games just don't bother to. And I don't blame them for not bothering to, but the fact that they do this works really well for me. And it does feel like a game that I can be satisfied playing for a really long period of time. Honestly, just with the first battle pass and playing the game, I probably could get my full value out of it. If they add on to it and keep it alive for the other 500,000 people, that's great. I want them to succeed. But I probably personally don't need it because I'm not going to get to see any of that stuff towards the 6th, 7th tier of whatever they're building.
Yeah. This is I'm going to be playing this for a while. Just to add to a couple things you said, Travis. So agree with most of what you said. I think I lost my train of thought now. I agree with you. I think on the cheater front, I'm happy that this game is a paid game. I think that helps in a lot of ways versus free to play. We've seen it on Battlefield as well already, which is interesting. You're also right about Embark. I mentioned that last week, and I'm honestly thinking about doing kind of a bigger write up on it around the way they've structured their studio. When they left EA and they built Embark and the tools they use for machine learning and kind of AI generation in positive ways, rather than what we seem the conversation we typically have around AI. And so you're right. Their speed to market and their ability to kind of engage with the community and keep things fresh is really good with the finals. They've already released a November and December update list for Arc with new art coming, the 5th map, other stuff, which is awesome. So I think Embark's going to be really good in that regard. They're, as you rightly said, they're amazing with the finals in that. And the just listening to, we've been around long enough, the three of us, right? We've been covering this industry for a long time and love it. When you listen to a CEO of a studio talk, you can pick up on a lot of things if you know what you're listening for. And I think like Patrick seems to really have the right head on his shoulders of like what they're doing, how they're doing it. And why they're doing it, which is it's just awesome. So it's become a running joke in our Discord and other places of like Embark doesn't miss, and that could change in time. To your point, there's plenty of studios that have come and built something amazing, and then a few years down the line, it's a shell. But as of right now, they're crushing it. So wish them the best. It's awesome that to see such success for this, and if it gives us more arc raiders and more finals, then by all means keep doing it. The one thing the one thing you guys commented in around like arena shooters, you're absolutely right about, by the way, which makes me sad because I still like
I'm sad by that too because I love arena shooters, but they are like they are a little passe, right? But then you don't see a lot of like Gen Alpha playing those.
Yeah. No, they don't. And it's a shame because I do still like we go into an arena, the better person wins, and that's all you need to satisfy you. But on this, the one thing that I'm curious to, I think you kind of touched on, Travis, is so Big Box mentioned like finals and Fortnite and that stuff, right? But Arc Raiders does have a curve in terms of its loot. So like once I know people now have all their workbenches all done, they've taken down a queen, they've beat all this stuff. Oh, people are hardcore invested, Hogue.
I once took down a wasp.
But you got to remember, I played this 4 times before release, right? So like there's people like me out there who have all this time in this game. And what I was talking to my buddy the other night who's addicted to this is like there will come that point where the map's inside and out. You have all the loot. You've killed all the arc. It's like at that point, what are you really going in for? You can go in to PvP and kill other people, but even if you kill them, what are you getting for it? You already have all their stuff. So that to Travis,
they also make it really easy to get high level loot when you unlock the what are the things called where you like event? What are they called? I can't remember. The ones where you is it expeditions? You unlock it like later on in. No, I don't think it is.
It's just a menu that says unlocks at level 20.
Like raids or something?
Those are expeditions and projects. Yeah, there's but those are things you collect. It doesn't help you get loot. You're talking about, I think, the events where they change things on the maps, like the night raids and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't click on any of those buttons. They all say 5 difficulty. No thanks.
No, you're way too early, Hogue. Like you haven't even scratched the surface.
You start getting loads of pinks though. Like they make it. Yeah, I worry about that. It's like, oh well, loot doesn't matter because you can die and you still have like a bunch of stuff, or it's easy to get it back. That'll be an interesting.
I just think like people are so addicted, like we're saying, that people are playing so much, you're going to reach that point to where there's no progression left to have, at least in the short term, right? Until they add more stuff. And so I think that's where games like for me, and sorry, we've been on this topic a while, but for games like me, like the finals, Battlefield, the stuff I play every week, that competitive sense is what continues to drive me playing, where I don't know if Arc's going to have that. Do you know what I mean? I think Arc, there's going to be a curve.
Because it's not drawing the same audience where it's like, let's go in and see who's the best. It's sort of just like drawing people in who like a little bit of trolling, a little bit of combat, but mostly are there for the PvE. I will say I'm shocked about how much of the community is like there for the PvE, like you were saying. Like if you're, especially if you go in solo queue, there's like a 40-50% chance that you're going to run into some like people that don't want to shoot you on sight. Which is interesting.
Yes, no, I agree that it does seem like solo is relatively chill vis-a-vis the PvP. However, I do have to give a little bit of cheers to the guy that sniped me in the freaking cargo elevator for no reason from another mountain who's not going to collect my stuff.
But you still extracted, right?
No.
Wait, what?
Why?
You can use the computer when you're downed, right?
No, I surrendered. I didn't know.
Oh, no, just crawl to the computer.
Yeah, you can crawl over to the computer,
reach up and
then you
get
go
out.
like, and you can,
the reason, so I can, it's funny, Ho, because I do that to people.
And I just don't know why.
The reason is because, one, you often have a challenge to do damage to other human enemies
Makes sense.
PvP, but I don't want to ruin someone's run a lot of times. So I wait till they're in the elevator escaping and I pop shot them. And you'll get the damage, but they still escape.
That might have been Ains that did that to you, Hoke.
No, it was Autism 313, unless that's his name.
I think that might have been me, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, you're 313. I'm 314. Forgot about that. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's a cool club if you want to join, Hoke.
I didn't know that you could still crawl over to the computer,
yes.
But hey, no, it was a wake-up call for me. Because I was like, I don't hear any. When you have the arc around, you hear their motors or whatever. And I'm like, I don't hear anything. What is happening? Because nobody had even taken a shot at me before.
No, there's full snipers.
You can listen for across the map. Footsteps. Honestly, if you're not playing with a headset on, you should be. Like it improves the experience quite a bit.
Huge.
But yeah, there's also, Hogue, like the question of, can they keep the community as positive as it is? Because I've also started to have people who say, don't shoot, and talk to you on mic. And then they wait till your back is turned and then they just kill you. And that's starting to happen now. So people are using like the positivity of the community against you. It's starting to get a little bit more paranoid and toxic. But that's the thing about extraction shooters is all the ones I've gotten really into have been so promising at the beginning. And then they've just evolved into like a very bad situation, either via cheaters or something else with the game that didn't work out. And I'm just like paranoid that's going to happen to Arc Raiders. Like I really am.
It'll become what it becomes, but it's a really great game.
I've been hurt before, and now it's made it hard for me to fall off.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yes, I was going to comment on this. We definitely talked about it more than I planned, but I think it's pointed in the sense of where this game is in the community right now. So, Hogue, I'm glad you proved us wrong and actually are enjoying it. And as I always say, I am happy to run this with you if we can find the time to run it together. I know you do your football and family on Sundays, but if you are on later today, I may be on. I'm happy to run and show you some of the ropes and some of the nuances of things.
I think there's a good chance that I'm playing some Arc Raiders today. I'm not sure I could stop myself, honestly.
Okay, well, I'll message you. For those who may be new as well, even if you're like Hogue, so you have to play a certain number of matches to unlock the 4 maps. But if you play with a host who has everything unlocked, you can still play them. So as long as the host can pick them, you're good to go to check out the other maps. And the final map that's open right now, Hogue, it's called Blue Gate. And in my opinion, that's actually the coolest map. It's huge and has a lot of neat stuff on it. So
yeah, I saw it was 16 or 18 matches, right? Something like
18.
that.
It's 18, yeah. But which isn't really that long. It doesn't take long.
No.
So, all right. Well, that's Arc Raiders. We got into that. So, one comment, Guybrush says, wait a sec. Hogue likes it, but this seems like a game that won't die in 3 months. So, Hogue, you keep your stink away from this game, sir. Don't kill Arc Raiders.
For the record, Skull and Bones still sailing the 7 seas. All right?
It's true.
So
it is still out there.
Diablo 4 still exists.
It remains to be seen. Like, do you guys feel like you're getting kind of worse at predicting which of these is going to catch on and be able to sustain itself? Because like Helldivers 2 was one where like I played it before it came out, and my first thought was, oh, this is really fun, but how the hell are they going to keep this interesting for more than a month or two? And then it ended up being like the biggest game ever. I was like, oh, okay, I was super
truthfully
wrong.
I don't know what's happening in Helldivers 2 now. Like I don't know what they're doing in that game.
I'm with you, Travis. I played it with some SG guys after release, after it got big, and I played it, and I was just like, yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why this is so.
No, I get Helldivers 2, but I also was like, oh, I think it's going to have trouble, because I was like, well, this is like a AA studio. How are they going to keep content coming enough to make people like care about this for very long? And I still think I was right about that part. Like their content release was really slow, but they managed to do that GMing, you care about what's happening in the world every week thing, which I just didn't see at all. And that was sort of the context I was missing. But I always wonder that with like games like Arc Raiders, it's like, I know the studio isn't the biggest in the world, so I'm a little fearful that they're going to have the content delivery pipeline problem, especially since it's a lot harder to deliver content in a PvP game. I mean, we've seen Bungie with Destiny struggle with this forever. So it's like, can they add maps as quickly as they can add modes or seasons like they can in the finals? I think that's going to be the real challenge for them, because that content's much harder to make. It takes different a lot longer.
Yes.
Creating a new AI enemy is a ton of work as a developer.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens. Yeah. I have faith in them. They've shown that they are capable in that realm, but you're right. It's a different curve than finals, something like that. So we'll see what happens.
Cautious optimism. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. A couple comments and super chats to get to real quick.
Yeah.
Sardinisms, member for 23 months, writes, let's talk about what's really important right now. New Dreamlight Valley expansion. Correct. There's an expansion coming out on November 19th. That's in 10 days for Dreamlight Valley. It's called Wish Blossom Ranch. You can ride a horse, I guess. I'm reviewing this expansion, and I can't say more than that.
Okay. So stay tuned.
We'll have lots to say about Disney Dreamlight Valley's Wish Blossom Ranch, which is a crazy term.
Yeah, that's a funny name.
You know, every cozy game has a compound word of whimsy and then some kind of location. It's all Stardew Valleys and Moonstone Islands and Wish Blossom Ranches. It's just how it works.
Dreamlight Valley
is
the name itself.
By itself.
And I think their last expansion was called Storybook Vale.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what you do.
Yeah.
Storybook Vale. It's a good one.
Thank you, Zard. We got a couple super chats from Mr. Don Lionheart.
Don Lionheart has given me $5 personally straight into my checking account and writes, good day. All completed my annual pilgrimage to an Elisa Schlesinger stand-up show yesterday. DRR Constitutional Hall in DC, waiting for Travis's tour dates. Unfortunately, I'm not a touring comedian anymore. And even if I was, you wouldn't have seen my name anywhere because I opened for people, unfortunately. But Elisa Schlesinger, I forgot how to say her name. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's very talented comedian, very funny. So I'm sure you had a good time.
Nice. Has a follow-up as well.
He also gives me another $5 straight into my wallet and writes, finally going to get a chance to dig into Outer Worlds 2 now. Nice. Unrelated. Vogue, how many Expanse books do I need to read to start watching the show?
One book will get you through the first season and a half. You'll know whether you like the show / the book by then. Read the first one. That's all you need done. But I highly recommend all of them. It's one of my favorite series in a long time. Show is excellent right until Amazon loses faith in it. So you got 5 years or so before that happens. But enjoy it. And speaking of The Expanse, did any of you see that The Expanse people dropped their theme song on N7 Day? I love these guys.
I did.
First of all, the song is awesome. The Expanse rules. I'm super excited about that game. But just crazy stuff. Dropping it right on Mass Effect's head.
They did, yeah. Owlcat Games is who's making that. I got the PR thing about it, but that's a good studio too. So I'm excited for that game. I hope it turns out well.
It's going to be great. I am super excited about that.
Nice. Thank you, Don. Appreciate you. Glad you had a good time. So we have talked about Arc Raiders quite a bit. I want to let you guys know, or I guess Hogue, because I don't think you've started, Travis, but I did dig into Ghost of Yotei this week. I am enjoying it. I'm about 6 or 7 hours in. I said Ghost and Outer Worlds 2 were going to be my next couple month casual single player games when I'm not arcing or battlefielding or finaling. Really liking Yotei so far. At first I was like, oh, this is well, not just at first. I mean, right now it's very PlayStation-y, and we've talked about that before. It's got all the same menus, types, and designs, and climbing, and all the PlayStation stuff, in its Ubisoft way. But I really like the vibe of it so far. It feels like my friend described it as a Japanese Western. It kind of feels like that in a way. Atsu, cool character so far. Like the setup of it, and I agree with you. I'm already more invested in exploring this world and kind of learning more about it and the things that tie together. it's got a much better sense of moment to moment engagement than Tsushima had.
I really like the word organic for Yotei, which is like you can talk to anybody that you see on the road and they might say something interesting to you. You can find a quest randomly and say, would I have ever stumbled upon that in a different playthrough? Like it's all of this kind of organic progression in that game. I think it's fantastic. I really think it's a great game. I do think it is a PlayStation game, like as you suggest. It is all the stuff you expect from them. But it really captures the vibe very well in a kind of Kill Bill orientation of the feudal Japanese story. So really like it. I don't know that it's enough to kind of penetrate my top 5 of the year because it's a really competently well-made game that I really enjoy, but feels like I've been to this party before.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You've been to a party before?
It just went quiet. I was waiting for Hogue to say something, but
me too.
I just nodded.
I mean, that's the real headline here. Hogue been to party before.
I mean,
huge confirmation, if true.
My wife throws a great party.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see. I agree with you, Hogue. I'm gonna obviously keep enjoying it for a while, so I'll circle back on that one in time. I will say I've had some other people dig into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 this week. More and more people checking it out because of free play days, which
because of the free weekend,
yeah. And already there's a couple people on my timeline and some friends I've talked to that are like, "Holy shit, this is really good." I'm like, "Yes."
Oh no, it's crazy.
So please go play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I will say, as I'm playing Yotei sometimes on my PS5 Pro, and it's beautiful, right? And enjoying kind of that exploration, half of my mind is like, you could just go play more KCD 2. I mean,
that's the problem with this year.
Story, but
there's like, so many things that are like, I'm enjoying myself, but couldn't I be playing Hades 2 right now? I'm enjoying this, but couldn't I be doing something else? It's like, that's the world of video games in 2025, is that there's so much greatness that has been thrust upon us all at once that you just constantly have this, I don't know, anxiety about, would I not be maybe enjoying myself 2% more if I switched back to one of my favorites this year?
Yeah. But anyway, enjoying Ghost. You mentioned, obviously, Travis talked about his review. You mentioned Outer Worlds 2 and really enjoying that last week, Hogue. I did dig. I'm a few hours into it now, past the intro sequence, right? The 1 or 2 hour kind of thing. So I'm enjoying that as well. It's obviously largely different from Ghost of Yotei in that sense, but really digging obviously the typical type of RPG this is, and I like a lot of the exploration in terms of how you can approach certain quests and do certain things. So I'm still early in it, but those are 2 awesome games that I'm digging right now. Have you put more time into it?
I have. I love Outer Worlds 2. And speaking of this, I know it's not technically on our main topics list, but did you see, and I'm going to get this name wrong, but I think it's Daniel Vavra, the creative director of KCD2, essentially call out Outer Worlds 2 as not doing enough new things? Because
I did see that.
I thought that was an interesting kind of criticism of this game, and I actually responded in social media on this to say that I think Outer Worlds 2 is a kind of comfort food BioWare Obsidian old school game with a comic bent, of course. It's not really trying to be that kind of open world Bethesda-esque game that KCD2 is. And I very much want them both to exist. I love both of these games.
Yes, I would agree.
So I don't come at it from the same place as Mr. Vavra does. But I understand him being behind this very successful, really top-of-the-line video game in Kingdom Come Deliverance, saying this is the game that it should be, even though I think there's a place for both. So I don't want to just throw him under the bus here. I get where he's coming from. He made the game he wanted to make. Great. Good for him. But I think too often video games, all media really, but video games especially, see this kind of collapsing of genres of there's only one correct design principle. There's only one best way to do these things. And that's not how art works. That's not how games works. And I am very glad that Outer Worlds 2 exists in the same universe that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 does.
I certainly agree with Vavra that I wish it would take more chances. And as you know, I tend to be on his side in terms of like, I appreciate games that try new things a lot more than I appreciate ones that are comfort food. I wouldn't be a dick about it on social media by adding anyone, but
he's got that social media attitude. Like you see that in a lot of his
seems like that kind of guy.
Yeah. But anyway, I also I appreciate what the Outer Worlds 2 is, and I do think it takes some chances. I think saying that it's just like straight down the middle is not true. But do I wish it did more things I hadn't seen before? Absolutely. That's why games that don't are pretty much perma locked on 8 out of 10s for me. if I don't see anything I haven't seen before.
Oh wait, this is new. So Outer Worlds 2 maxed out the non-novelty score that a Travis Northrop can give.
Pretty much. I mean, that's not really a hard rule, but like generally speaking, if I'm going to call something amazing, it has to amaze me, and I'm not typically amazed by doing really well things that I've already kind of played. That's not really how I would describe that word. So,
Vavra has been controversial before.
He likes it.
Yeah, he is.
He's a little internet trolly.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me coming from him. I'm not far enough in Outer Worlds 2 to speak to the intricacies of that design, but to your point, Hogue, both can exist. Both can be fun and enjoyable. I'm enjoying Outer Worlds 2. Obviously, I adore KCD 2, and I appreciate what they created in that game because I do think it needs to be celebrated and kind of shouted from the rooftops. That doesn't mean you need to put down other games in the space. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah. I mean, that's standard protocol is you don't knock the other people that are doing what you're doing.
Standard protocol is just don't tweet. Don't use social media. That's my suggestion.
I understand. Like I have played enough Outer Worlds 2 now to be at the place where you've got this kind of dynamism between the factions and the things that you can do. And it's pretty cool. But where Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 kind of has those moments of dynamism reflect across all of their quest lines and everybody kind of interacts in a weird networked way that is awesome. That doesn't happen in Outer Worlds 2, at least not as far as I've gotten to see so far. So you have this kind of isolated siloing that feels more like Fallout 3, that feels more like what you've seen before in this family tree of RPGs. And so I get where he's coming from. I just don't view it as everything has to be KCD2 or it's not worth playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, fair. One funny thing I wanted to mention this week in terms of gaming, and I'm sure, I don't know how much our community is into it. I'm not even really into it. But if you didn't see, Fortnite is doing a Simpsons crossover for 1 month where the world is the Simpsons world. And I don't really enjoy playing Fortnite. It's not my thing, which is fine. But I did reinstall it and I had to play a match just to check it out. And I will say, and we've talked about this on the show before, it's mighty damn impressive what Epic does with that game, man.
Yeah, they do a lot of good work.
Yeah, it's wild. I played by myself. I just wanted to check it out. And like I'm running around. The music's playing. You get the Simpsons intro when you get on the bus and everything looks like the Simpsons world. And then, I'm wandering around and evil Homer pops up and starts chasing me down. And, you can do quests in Springfield. And I was like, this is wild. It's
crazy what they do with that game.
Yeah.
It's funny that you talk about the quests in Fortnite. Like that's actually what I think really worked so well for me in our creators is just these little bits of, instead of trying to hunt people down or hunt robots down, you focus on these small things that you have to do while you're in the world, and it keeps you going because they just keep filling up your bucket of things to do. And it's a really great design that I first really engaged with Fortnite, which is not a great game in and of itself, like by itself, gunplay wise or otherwise. But it has a lot of cool ideas to keep you interested in continuing to play. So I've seen a lot of the ad cards for Simpsons Fortnite, whether it's on my smart TV or in my Xbox, but I have not downloaded it yet.
Yeah, I played one match. That's all. I just wanted to check it out. Had a lot of fun. I think I was playing on my PlayStation where for whatever reason it didn't pull over my Epic account. You know how that goes. So it thought I was brand new. And so I was clearly playing against a lot of bots because I won and had like 20 kills. Like it was way too easy.
Yeah.
But whatever. I just wanted to see it. It's very neat. So pretty cool to mention.
I probably will pop in. I usually pop in around their Christmas event. So
cool. What else is good, guys? What you been playing?
Yeah, what else is good, Travis? Well, I would like to shout out a game that I did not anticipate buying this week, but has really impressed me with how it has adopted another intellectual property.
Arc Raiders.
Well, yes, Arc Raiders we talked about, but also Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Is a Musou, I don't know how to pronounce that word correctly, game in the Dynasty Warriors vein, but through the lens of Zelda. They've done one of these before in the Age of Calamity, which I liked enough but didn't love. This one lets you play as Zelda, who wields the power of light in a very flashy way, as you can expect from these types of games. But also with, 6,000% more cutscenes and story than actual Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, which is an odd choice for this particular series, but works pretty well. I think the Warriors framework as crossed with Nintendo's IP actually is a really good idea. I've thought that since the Fire Emblem Warriors game, because a lot of the times with Dynasty Warriors, I've played through those beats enough, and they aren't as fantastic or as interesting to me as somebody rapidly making constructs in the Tears of the Kingdom world while you fight 100 people, or Zelda wielding the power of a light whip to fight off these monsters. So I really think it's an excellent game. It is the quintessential does what it says on the tin game. Like everything I just described, whatever you're imagining, that is the game that you will be playing. But it's really well done. It's got a number of different characters doing weird things while borrowing from this Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom intellectual property. So it looks like that. They use the magic that you use in those games in different ways to have their X combos and their Y combos. But just really, really enjoy it. I like getting a little bit more narrative lore for ancient Hyrule, and it's a lot of fun. So I wasn't expecting to buy it. I, for some reason, hit the button when I had a place to go with my Switch, and I was super excited to have done so. Do note, when I say there's a lot of cutscenes, you're not thinking of enough cutscenes. And so this is like Hideo Kojima presents the world of Hyrule. So early on, just oodles of time watching people talk about nonsense. But I enjoyed it. You can too. You can get through that early cutscene barrage. I believe in you.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay. That's interesting. It's funny you say that about the Switch and hitting the button. I guess it just lost time with all these games, but we're only 3 weeks away from Metroid releasing Prime 4 after all these years. So we'll see if that lives up to the hype. They released a new trailer this week. I don't know if you guys saw that, but
I did not see a new Metroid Prime 4 trailer. I might check it out because I was unenthused by the bike trailer. But between now and then, we got Kirby riding on stars. So I think we might get another 60-minute direct. Who knows? There's still more to expose about Air Riders. It's the craziest marketing I've ever seen for a game. It's like, that is a racing game about Kirby. How many of these directs could we possibly need? But every time, I enjoy the whole hour. 8. So let's do 8
more hours.
You heard it from Travis, Nintendo. Let's get Sakurai to give 8 hours of content to us, huh?
Kirby's Air Rider.
I don't know.
Is so underrated as a game for the GameCube.
What game? Say it again. What game?
Air Rider.
Okay. Yeah. I've actually never played it.
Oh my god, I love that game. I think I was in middle school or something when that game came out. And oh yeah, you know how everybody has a game that they like let a friend borrow and never got back? Kirby Air Ride is that game for me. I don't think I've let any of my friends borrow a game since then, because that guy never gave it back, and I was devastated. It's also hard to get that game now. Oh, look at Hoag's hat. I realized your hat is the one I gave you.
Yeah.
Nintendo San Francisco. Look at that. Hell yeah.
I think I told you guys, or maybe I didn't tell you guys, but I've told other people on other shows this, but I tend to change my hats based on what I'm doing to help guide my thought process and keep work time separate from leisure time, separate from family time, and all these things. So yeah, this is one of my I am chilling out hats, which is I don't usually wear for the Bitcast because this is at least a little bit of work. So I thought it would be cool to wear today because I don't remember why. Isn't that a good story? Nice. Well told.
Well, it looks good on you. Looks good on you. And I knew it would when I picked it up. I was like, corporate logo, a hat. He's going to love this.
It's Hoag's world right
it's
there.
Corporate branding and a hat. Those were the two qualities.
So you mentioned that. Any other games we want to touch on before we jump over to the PlayStation topic?
I'll talk about the games I've played.
Yeah. Go.
As you know, I've been traveling all week, basically since I talked to you. Like as soon as I got off the show last week, I've been traveling, but it has allowed me to play a lot of portable games. I played a Ball Pit on my Xbox Rogue Ally. Okay. That is a very addictive game. I played Hollow Knight Silk Song. That is also a game I quite enjoy. I'm probably missing 2 or 3 other games I played that weren't Arc Raiders. But the game that I am legally obligated to tell you guys about is IGN's IGN first game this month, which I am the lead editor for. So this is a game called Routine. It is a horror game, a first-person horror game, where you are walking around a lunar space station and being hunted by robots that want to kill you. It is well, I can't really talk about it because my preview goes live later this week, but I'm involved in all of the content and coverage that you're getting this month from IGN. So we have a preview going live this week, and then next week or the week after, I'll have an interview up from myself and the developers and the creative team there. And yeah, if you're into horror games, this is one of those games where you gotta go fix stuff and figure out keypad codes while also being hunted by monsters that want to rip your throat out. So good times. Who doesn't like that?
I like that interaction in Dead by Daylight. Let's do it again.
Yeah, always a good time.
I'm glad you could finally tell us, since you wouldn't break your NDA like a chump. But I'm excited about this one. This is the cover of Edge magazine this month too. So I was wondering about this. I didn't obviously realize this was the game you're covering. So fantastic. I'm looking forward to that preview.
Yeah, that's exciting because I think it was about this time when you turned me on to Eternal Strands last year. Travis doing an IGN first is right in my wheelhouse of little games that I would not necessarily notice without you. So thank you.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to talking more about it. Obviously, I got to wait till the preview goes live, but I can recommend everybody go and check out the content that's up so far. I think we got a trailer and maybe something else this week, and I'm gonna be able to talk about it a lot more next week. So, and I played that one like pretty extensively on my PC before I left, and then on the road. So we'll talk about.
So I take it. Sorry, Travis. I keep jumping in early. Apologies. Okay. Only thing I was going to ask you is I'm looking at it on Steam. It is the console release as well. You know, or can you say?
Question. I can get an answer for that. I certainly have that answer somewhere among the documents that I have. But I played it on PC. I'll get an answer to that while we move on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying.
It is confirmed for PC and Xbox.
Nice.
Oh. Okay, that's probably okay. Yep.
The rare PC Xbox.
Yeah, the rare non-PlayStation, non-Switch one. Okay, gotcha. Cool. Pumped about that one.
Yeah,
great
cool.
Year for
it does seem like
too.
It's up your alley, Ains.
Yeah. Released December 4th, it says. So
Steam and Xbox is right. It's also going to be on Game Pass at launch.
Oh well, shit.
That would explain. That would explain the Xbox-ness.
That would explain the Xbox part of it. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to touch on quickly? Either of you?
I have one left. It's not necessarily a small game. It's not really a Hoag's Notes, but I wanted to mention it, and I also wanted to call out IGN because it was actually their review that convinced me to buy this one, and I was really impressed by the commentary in that review. It's not Travis's. So I'm not giving Travis flowers here, but I do want to mention it. I love strategy games. And this week saw the release of Paradox's new grand strategy game, Europa Universalis 5. And if you haven't played one of these before, this is a game that basically simulates entire societies around the entire world for 500 years in history. And it's from like the Middle Ages to the Industrial Revolution, give or take. And you choose to be the spirit of a nation. Right now I'm playing through as the spirit of Norway. And like Crusader Kings, you marry off people and you make alliances. Unlike Crusader Kings, you also control the entire industrial output of your country, and you set up markets to sell things in, and you take over topographies that are going to help you get the best resources to make new products. And so as an economics guy, a strategy guy, you get the wargaming, you get the character stuff from Crusader Kings, you get the economics, you get just a great time, and I'm really enjoying it. I have played it for maybe a half dozen hours, which means that I am even more of a baby in this game than I am in Arc Raiders, because the average playthrough of a Europa Universalis run is like 60 or 70 hours. People will play these games for thousands of hours at a time. I do not have enough into these games, into 5 to tell you that it's awesome, other than I've really enjoyed it so far, and the simulation is even more detailed than it used to be, which is basically what the IGN review said. I wound up reading its review and watching the video because I thought it was so well done. And if any of that sounds interesting to you, or if it sounds like the most boring thing in the world, you're probably right.
Yeah.
That must have been a Leanna Hafer review, huh?
I'm sorry?
It must have been Leanna Hafer. She does like all of the strategy reviews.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's probably the most like well-known freelance reviewer aside from myself. She is an absolute expert at all things strategy games, like so much that I've never been able to review a strategy game at IGN because she just outranks me in terms of knowledge and expertise on those. So
that's cool.
Well, I thought that the review really pointed out what worked for this game and then what didn't, and allowed me to evaluate what would bother me and what wouldn't in what I'm looking for out of a review. So I can't speak highly enough about it. The game itself, like every Paradox game on launch, will undoubtedly have some friction points. They like to fix things up after the fact, after getting your money, and they like to fix things up even more by selling you more DLCs. That's the Paradox business model. You either sign up for that or you don't. But this game seems right up my alley, just more details than you could possibly imagine. And I highly recommend it for anybody that sounds interesting to.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Someone in on your channel, Knoxville Buckeye, says EUV for the win. Only 2,000 hours in EU IV. Is that
4
or EU4? EU4.
Yeah.
Okay. Still an amateur.
Yeah. No, but that's the truth. Like 2,000 hours in Europa Universalis means that you've got a pretty good handle on how the game works, but you can't manipulate it to your whims yet. Yeah. Like it's like 10,000 hours to figure out exactly how to get everything to do exactly what you want it to do.
That's pretty cool, though. They're not my type of game. Like I will never play it, but I like watching it from the outside to just see what's actually been built in the gaming space for that community.
There's a bit in that IGN review that I really love, and I'm sorry for stepping on you, Ains. There's a bit in that IGN review that says it takes forever to learn these games. It takes forever to learn 5, but that, in my opinion, is part of the fun. And like that spoke to me. Like this is you take a class. I'm going to figure out how to play Europa Universalis 5, and the tutorial is fine in terms of getting you to where the buttons are, but it's not fine in understanding what the buttons do or how you're actually going to play this game. So you're constantly teaching yourself. If you like learning, these games are for you because there's just so much stuff in there to go and learn.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell people all the time, one of my most played games ever, I think it definitely top 5 most spent time is World of Tanks, which I've talked about before. And I tell people like the World of Tanks community is crazy because that game is so in depth to play it well in a competitive sense. I think I have 7,000 matches, and I'm considered literally a noob. The people who play that game, it's considered about 100,000 matches, 100,000 multiplayer matches to be competent at the game. It's wild.
Yeah, so that was the only real kind of quasi Hogue note I wanted to mention, which is a Hogue note here, but Europa Universalis is not going past anybody that is otherwise interested in that genre. That was a huge launch.
Yeah, that's like people building their PCs just to play that game, I'm sure.
We've talked about it before, but it's kind of funny. That's why when you said PUBG earlier, Travis, because we've talked about how like our perception of what's hot, the gaming community, et cetera, is so Western based, or even US based, and not even just Western. But like PUBG, people don't realize, because I have, it's not you, Travis. Like I have so many friends that are like, PUBG, that game's still around. I'm like, 2024 was their biggest game, and they've already passed that revenue in 2025 year. They've made nearly $3 billion this year.
It's just that nobody Nobody ever takes note of second place is the problem. Like as long
What's
as
it second
Fortnite,
place to?
What's that?
Fortnite?
Oh,
I mean,
Fortnite.
everything is second place to Fortnite.
Exactly. That's my
kind
point.
of a weird
but
argument.
It's in the actual, because it's in the same genre. Like it could be as big as it wants, but unless it's bigger than Fortnite, nobody's gonna, talk about it.
I also think when you reach,
but I think that's
when you reach equilibrium, there's not a lot to talk about, right? Like this is a talk show about things that are interesting to us in the world of video games. PUBG is a known commodity. It is successful because it's known. Fortnite is the same way. We aren't spending a lot of time talking about Fortnite or Roblox either, even though they're making money hand over fist.
Yeah, Roblox is different. That's probably just because we're not in that ecosystem. But I do think we talk about Fortnite a fair amount, like certainly more than we talk about PUBG, because they're doing stuff that catches our awareness, like the Simpsons thing, right? So
yeah, my point was we don't talk about it because it's not in our purview. That doesn't mean people aren't talking about PUBG.
For sure they are. Yeah,
it's a different community. I think regionally is kind of my point. All right. Sorry. Let's move over and talk about PlayStation. So PlayStation comes out this week, and they've been testing and dabbling in kind of the cloud space behind the scenes. PlayStation tends to go this route, right? They take a slower approach to some of these more technical advancements, I would say, in the gaming space. And then they dropped this big update this week for the Portal. I have mine behind me, where you can now connect to the cloud. And it's actually not this small update. It's actually a very, very large update in terms of connectivity and function. So just to kind of hit the bullets here, if you missed this, they basically announced that the Portal can now, instead of just connecting to your PlayStation 5 and kind of playing that game remotely, you can now connect it directly to the cloud and play your PlayStation library, digital library, including PS Plus games. So it's not just like specific games, it's thousands of titles are supported. You do have to be a PS Plus premium member to take advantage of this. So similar to like Game Pass Ultimate, they're going down that same route where it's like you need to be the higher end of the subscription tier to have all the features.
Is premium the top? I forget their naming conventions.
It's essential, extra, and premium. Okay. I had to look it up.
Extra is a crazy name for a tier. That's crazy.
Well, it's just in my head, I would probably put premium in the middle and then extra at the top. Like just so it's like these words. Give me some levels.
Can I play video games extra PlayStation, please?
What's some extra PlayStation?
And look, I complain about Microsoft a lot, but Ultimate is pretty clearly the top level.
Yeah, that's fair. So you can play side by side or, separately from someone on your PS5. So it doesn't take over your PS5 like a kind of remote play or anything like that, right? So you can just be sitting. It's a normal, fully enabled cloud device. And then they added all the features you would expect of playing on this almost as its own console, which is like in-store purchases, game invites, 3D sound, all of that suite is supported. So I think what's most interesting about this is, one, it's a huge update for the Portal, which is a $200 device, and it adds some functionality that people can use.
So it's existing portals. They're not selling you a new portal. They're
correct. Just it's the Portal right there. Yeah.
It's like they changed the whole market for the thing. Yeah.
Exactly, which I think is what's most interesting about this story. It's like when you bought the Portal for $200, I bought it as okay, I'm watching hockey. If I want to keep playing Berserker, that's my usual use case, or KCD2 or something. That's what I'm doing. But this is a whole new thing now. So now, technically, if I want to, and I haven't tested it, so I don't know about the functionality in terms of latency or anything else. But I can take that with me when I travel. To your point, like you took your Rogue Ally, Travis, so not natively installed, right? But if I want to play cloud, you can take your Portal with you, travel around, and play just like some other devices have been doing for a while in the Xbox ecosystem, PC ecosystem.
It's not going to work at the airport, though. My use case
not on airport Wi-Fi. I wouldn't do that.
My use case for portable devices is exclusively playing in places that have shit internet connection. It's like, if you're in a cabin or you're in an airport or you're a hotel or you're on the plane, and none of those are going to work with the cloud. And so this is like for if you're at your grandma's house and your grandma doesn't live in, places with shitty internet, which is probably where most grandmas live. I have a problem with this being the only I don't know. It's a great feature. I'm glad that they're adding it.
It's a massive improvement to the Portal. I don't think there's any question about that.
PlayStation.
That's what I was going to kind of ask you guys. Is like big update to the Portal. I think we all agree, but we've been talking about cloud play for years. Like this isn't new by any sense of the imagination, but it's PlayStation pushing into that space to maybe add an additional layer to their ecosystem, right? Is the way you maybe frame it up. But does this it doesn't interest me at all. I don't know about you guys where you sit with this.
I am marginally more likely to buy a Portal when I was at 0% chance before. So, I mean, like,
yeah,
I don't know if that actually puts dollars in their pockets because it's still marginal, but it is at least a device now that has a use case that I understand. I am never going to remote play off my PlayStation with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp. Like, I think this is a huge improvement to PlayStation, but playing on a handheld device that's tethered to my PlayStation is not a use case that I would ever need, right? Because I just have other PlayStations. It's not a problem. Playing it on the cloud, so that means that I'm remote but still want to play a PlayStation and have a good internet connection accessible to me is a second use case that I never encounter. Like I'm always playing remotely on the bus where you don't have internet connection that's strong enough to, there's just, this does not fit any of the niches in my life that makes sense. But for those that it does, that is an enormous upgrade. It exists in this little pocket that, I mean, what are the odds that I'm away from my console, but I have a strong enough internet connection to stream games, which is a pretty high threshold. I mean, maybe a hotspot if you're in a 5G area and you're hotspotting it over to your PlayStation and that's
streaming.
You're
playing but honestly, a small single player game or something.
Yeah, but even then, I'm a little worried about the quality. So it could work for card games. You want to play Monster Train and
Balatro,
Balatro, something like that. I could see stuff like that, but it's just such a small niche. I could never see myself buying it. And to me, the value in portable gaming is being able to install the game and play it like it's a console game, and obviously this isn't that. I also wonder what it does to battery life when you're streaming it versus the tethering. I imagine it's more demanding, but who knows?
Probably, that's an interesting thought there. I mean, obviously, it's not using any more processing power per se, but I don't know if the anything else becomes engaged.
The adapter, what's the? It's definitely unpacking something that it's probably not doing when it's tethered to the PlayStation. So
yeah, I need to try it. It's not a use case for me, and to be quite frank, I'm not a PS Plus premium member either.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's a whole nother thing. But I just find it interesting because I saw, and this is anecdotal, of course, but like I think it's interesting. Sometimes we talk about the way things are messaged. So you might recall we've been talking about this in the Xbox space for years now, of the cloud and what they were doing with it. And I think this came out at a time where PlayStation has made it more clear this is like an addition to their ecosystem, and it's just this kind of thing that's there if you want to use it. Whereas I think Xbox got dinged, at least in the social media space of like, oh, Xbox is moving everything to the cloud. They're not supporting native play anymore. And I don't know if either of those are true necessarily. I think it's more about the way things are messaged, because this is really just the same functionality on a PlayStation device that I would assume is going to be in a vast minority percentage of people that actually use it, but it is an option for those who want to.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good solution. And I tend to agree that from my view, Sony uses Microsoft as the bull in the china shop, as the gorilla just knocking things over. And Microsoft just likes to go forth and break things. And Sony says, all right, how big of a hit did Microsoft take? Do we want to follow them? How are we going to talk about this? And then they do the baby steps version of it later and then highlight how it's not going to blow up their ecosystem.
Yeah,
versus this is an Xbox. And I think that's good to have two different philosophies here. I think this. I think you properly characterized it, Ains, as the social media space. I think it's still entirely unclear how much brand damage has been caused to Xbox in the wider world from all these things happening. We talked about. I didn't talk about it with you. I talked about it on Defining Duke at Last Stand. The Xbox financial statements came out for Q1 that the hardware console sales were down 30% or so, and that That makes all the sense in the world with the messaging that Microsoft is putting out there. But Sony being more cautious, slower to act on these things is fine. They're obviously protecting their winning position right now. But I do think they could have extracted or tried to extract even more value out of this Portal update. As Travis rightly asked, that's not a new device. Like, they could have sold the populace on it needs to be a 2.0 for this functionality to work. Here's a $300 version. And they decided not to do that, presumably because the people that had already bought a Portal were their most in-universe adopters, their biggest fans, and they didn't want to screw that up. But it's hard to say whether this will move the needle for anything Portal-wise. It's just a good idea for Sony to have more avenues, more places to be able to sell their product.
Yeah. And I'm sure you guys saw part of this conversation too was, they haven't officially announced this, but I don't know if you guys saw that kind of new logos in the PlayStation ecosystem were discovered showing PC, PS5 in one logo, and cross-buy logo. So the speculation, of course, being that, we've been talking for a while about how PlayStation manages their portfolio on PC. And they've had a system that seemingly works well for them right now, which is a post anywhere from 6-month to 18-month launch window of their bigger titles. But it's looking like, they're either going to do one of two things. One, if I think the interesting part of this conversation, because a lot of my friends said, well, would they do cross-buy? And I'm like, yeah, but the problem with cross-buy, so like Play Anywhere for Xbox, which Arc Raiders is, by the way. So I bought it on Xbox because I play on console and PC. But Xbox has their own, obviously, PC launcher, PC app. PlayStation does not. So you're one of two places if you're PlayStation trying to do PC and PS5 crossplay. Either you are coming up with some sort of agreement with Steam or Epic or some other platform where your game is going to be sold and splitting that revenue or profits in some way, which seems really weird to me. Or you're creating your own PlayStation launcher, which has been rumored for a while, but I still think is crazy. Maybe PlayStation is crazy, but we don't know just yet. But it feels like there's a shift in the tide of where PlayStation is going in terms of their ecosystem tying to PC ecosystem. And I'm very, very curious, just because I like this stuff, to see what they decide to do.
It would be great if Sony could catch up to Microsoft on some of the technical aspects of you buy one copy, you get it everywhere. You buy a copy of a game, it is automatically the one that you want, and you don't accidentally install the PlayStation 4 version. Like, all these little software solves that Microsoft, in my opinion, doesn't actually get enough credit for, would be great if Sony could adopt. And I think that it makes all the sense in the world from a business perspective to have a PlayStation PC cross-buy kind of concept, because what they don't want, now that their business model is more clear than it has been prior in this generation, what they don't want is people to hold off that have a strong PC from buying that copy of the game on their PlayStation 5 because they want to wait for the PC version to come out. So if you can get people the credits that they need to say, all right, I'll buy God of War now because I know if it's better on the PC later, I can play it then, and not have them try to extract another $60, $70 from me. That makes sense from the Sony standpoint. I agree that there are issues with the licensing and the revenue share kind of thing, but I don't think that you need to offer Valve or Epic or anyone else kind of the full freight purchase price for these things. I think they're probably going to be pretty amenable to being the place where you can play Sony games. Confusing all of that, of course, is this notion of the Xbox hybrid console, where Sony's continued business model of supporting PC is likely to be present on the Xbox in some way. Do they care about that? Does that hurt their hardware sales in the future? Nobody knows, right? Everybody's going to be making guesses in boardrooms across the video game industry for the next couple of years. Sony is going to guess that it's not going to hurt too bad because they don't really have another model to support. Microsoft is going to guess that they don't need a bunch of hardware sales, but that they can drag some people from the PlayStation ecosystem by supporting everything on PC and Xbox at the same time. Nobody knows how this is going to go. From a business lawyer's perspective, that's what makes this fun, right? This is going to be a bit of a car crash, a bit of a train wreck, whatever your favorite metaphor for this is, as we go forth in the next couple of years. And it's going to be really interesting to see how it shakes out, to me.
Yeah. No, we're in the same place. That's why we talk about it. Travis, you got any thoughts on where PS is going here? What you expect?
Straight to hell. No, I got nothing. You guys covered it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious to see what it is. There's been a lot of rumors in the space. It was interesting seeing the logos. Obviously, this cloud play with Portal is kind of going in that kind of more connected direction. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I was trying to think the other day, if PlayStation does come out with their own launcher, let's just say they come out with their own PC app and ecosystem, so you can stay in their world. That's going to be how many on PC now? So you have PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Epic, Rockstar, GOG,
Ubi,
EA, Ubi,
Blizzard.net,
Blizzard. That's 9. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but
is PlayStation Cloud still on Azure?
That's a good question. I don't know. That deal was signed a couple years ago. I don't know.
I can't imagine they swapped to anything else, but
yeah, that's true. I can't imagine they just up and moved everything, but I guess they could have. But
let's see what the internet says. Yes,
I mean it's one of 3, right?
PlayStation's cloud streaming services have been provided in partnership with Microsoft Azure.
Yeah, you remember that handshake picture? Yeah,
2019.
Where have years gone? Good Lord, I thought that.
Where
was like
have the years gone?
Ago.
Indeed, time erodes us all.
I think you need to speak like that all the time. That's pretty, it's pretty mesmerizing, honestly.
I gotta believe that's his blood on the clock tower voice.
That would be awesome. Just the entire time I'm talking like that. I don't get to use my voices enough on this. Only time I got was when Hogue invited me on his Dungeons and Lawyers
and Dragons. Yes, you were great on that.
Thanks. I get to use any of my other accents. It's too bad.
Well, Lawyers and Dragons, with a little luck, might make a comeback soon. Cool. And you will be invited if it does, Travis. I still have to get my legs under me in my new job and everything else that's going on in my life. But I know there is a desire from the people that helped bring Lawyers and Dragons to you to come back and have a season 3. Nice. So
Leox hopefully about to make a huge comeback and get those hamsters back.
All right. Rory Behan says, hello from Ireland. I played my Portal in the pub while sipping a pint of Guinness. The pub landlord called me unsociable custard. Cheek.
Hell yeah.
Nobody has ever called me custard of any kind, sociable or otherwise.
No,
I get that a lot.
Muppet. I call you a Muppet.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have been called Rick Moranis. I have been called Wallace Shawn. I have not been called custard.
Good. Rick Moranis is good. That's kind of funny.
Rick Moranis too. Also, my wife is incredibly attracted to Rick Moranis. I don't know what that means.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Travis.
D is, yeah.
It's all those AI pictures showing him as a chiseled hunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll move on from PlayStation, but it'd be cool to see, as we said, where that heads in the coming months and years. But speaking of coming months and years, Grand Theft Auto 6. Rockstar comes out this week, posts a little blog as they tend to do with no ceremony and just say, oh, it's going to be November next year now. So November 19th of 2026 is the new target for Grand Theft Auto 6.
I like target there.
Yeah, target. The interesting thing, if this actually releases on that date, of course, is that this is right in the middle of the holiday window of 2026. And as we've talked many times on the show about, as has everyone, is that this is a nuke on the industry and that other publishers will want to stay away from it. So kind of an interesting release date in that vein. Obviously, Rockstar knows this. They don't care about anything else. They'll pick the date they want to pick.
Now, wait a minute. I give Rockstar a lot of crap, but they moved from May to November in the prior November. There's no possible way for them to give other publishers more heads up than this.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I just meant like they don't really care, and they don't care in the sense of they're not. Let me rephrase: they're not threatened by any other game dropping near Grand Theft Auto.
I thought you were saying that they weren't. Like there was some notion when like Silksong was coming out in 2 weeks that some publishers were upset that they didn't get more of a heads up.
Yes,
in the indie space, no. Rockstar is giving as much time as they possibly can. Yes, everybody's fleeing. I would have recommended to all the publishers when there was a 2025 date, when there was a May 2026 date, now that there's a November 2026 date, to really not flee until you've got more of the marketing kind of rolled out, because this happens with every Rockstar game, and you really shouldn't just run from the first quasi date, let alone the second quasi date. But this one feels more real to me, giving it a full year to kind of polish up the finish of what you're making. I think people can go back to the clips of Bitcast with us talking about this, and my suggestion that the 2025 date was never real. And I'm not saying that as it wasn't aspirational internally. I don't think anybody was being lied to. It's just these things don't really become co-ate. They don't become solid for a while yet, until the app gets closer to being finished. And so I think Rockstar had some pressure to put out a date because this game had been so long cooking for their shareholders or otherwise. But now I think people can get excited about November 19th, 2026. And if it gets pushed from there, it's probably not going to be as long as these other pushes that we have seen.
I said on the show that it wouldn't be a Rockstar game unless it had at least 2 delays. And this is their second delay. So I think at most we get one more. I don't think we will. I'm kind of the opinion, but like GTA 5 was delayed 3 times. Then their next gen version was delayed. Then the version that they put on PC was delayed 3 times. Like they delay their games. Red Dead Redemption was 2 was delayed twice. Like
it
this
definitely
is
was.
Move. They delay all of their games many times, and here we are at the end of the end. I think this is the real date.
You think it? I was going to ask. Let's have a bet on this. Well, not a real bet, but you know what I mean. Do you think this actually launches?
I believe that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released on November 19th, 2026.
This was always the date, though. When they said 2025, we were like, no, it's fall 2026.
We said fall 2026.
I think we all said that. And
I think there is a clip where we do all say that.
Yeah.
I honestly wonder if it's a strategic thing, because at this point, Rockstar has to know what their development cycle looks like. They have to know what, like, is this purely to get people rabid? Like, is it a marketing ploy? I don't think they're above that.
Well, I think the problem here from a historical perspective for me is like my brain doesn't start running the timer that something is even going to come out pretty soon until they have their first non-date, right? Like I look at that and say it's definitely not then, but we're now circling the drain. We're now in the window where they start to circle in on an actual date to release their game.
Yeah.
So they can't just go and say a year and a half ago, November 2026, because at that point, I think we're just circling and it's really 2028. So I think this works like the way it's supposed to work for Rockstar, but all the people that come and contact me and ask if you can sue and whether they're defrauding their shareholders and all these things, it's like, no, I don't think there's any reason to believe outside of if you can find an email that says, let's lie to them and collect their, I don't even know, psychic energy.
Their hype. Their hype. Yeah.
Then no, you can't. The game's going to come out when it comes out. I do think I've spoken about it in this space and others that it's not really something that I get super excited about. I don't think Rockstar's open world games are too exciting from a gameplay perspective. I think their worlds are amazing and they're miracle sandboxes, and I think that's what people really get excited about. But like some random gangster telling me that somebody stole his porcelain cat collection and you have to get to point X in order to get it back, and you're going to get into a gunfire episode and then come back with some satirical radio on. Great. It's going to look crazy. It's going to look like actual Florida. But the game, I'm not going to get too terribly excited.
I will say, I was in Florida this week, and as soon as I got into that state, I was like, yeah, this is ripe for a GTA game.
Yeah.
You
rolled into a fireworks wholesaler.
Everything looked like a GTA level to me while I was there. And the people, especially, I'm just, we're overdue. It's time.
We are definitely overdue.
Get them, Rockstar. Get them.
It's going to be good. I hope, obviously. I think we're all in agreement then. This will release on November 19th. We'll certainly see. In parallel to this, if you didn't see, the number is just ridiculous at this point. It's like 230 some million copies of GTA 5. GTA 5 was on the top 10 best-selling games of October. Like, it's over 12 years old.
Kids are turning 18 every day, Ains.
As was Minecraft, to be fair.
Kids are also turning 12 every day.
That was Hoag's catchphrase for many years, by the way.
Stop it.
Kids are turning 18 every day.
Stop it.
At least I didn't say lower. I could have made it
worse. Well, no, I'm not saying that.
I love that you thought better of it. Oh,
yeah.
Man. There we go. There's an instinct I've never had. What Ains just did, that part of my brain is missing. The self-editing.
You don't run through what you're going to say first and then say, is that a good idea?
I run through what I'm going to say, but there's no Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder telling me, no, don't say that.
They announced that Red Dead 2, because there's obviously speculation that they're finally, for whatever reason, 7 years later, going to release an updated version of that on console.
The reason is the Switch.
So it could be true. That's fair. But an updated, and that's at nearly 80 million sold, and is now considered the 4th best-selling game of all time. So
I love how Red Dead, by the way, is like, okay, so it's definitely not Grand Theft Auto. Like we know that in our heads. We think about it as, oh, that's the one that isn't as good as Grand Theft Auto for Rockstar. It would be by far the best-selling game for like almost every publisher on Earth.
Yeah, it's the 4th best-selling game of all time. And it's their second, you know what I mean? And they got 2 in the top 5. But I like Red Dead 2 better than GTA 5 personally. 2? But say it again.
Red Dead 2 is the other one.
Yeah,
in the top
2.
Yes, it's number 4. I think it's like Minecraft, GTA 5. Depends how you define Tetris.
Tetris shows up on some of the lists, but
it depends.
Well, Tetris is like the Bible, right? You got to combine all your entries.
That's right. Yeah, you have to do some creative accounting.
Yeah. Skyrim's up there somewhere in the top 10. I know there's a few others that are like, crazy. But anyway, we'll see how GTA 6 shakes out and keep.
It's going to sell some copies, folks. It's going to sell. I don't make guarantees. It's going to sell a few copies.
It's going to be interesting to see, because you know how they used to frame those releases up of this is the biggest media event ever in the world, you know what I mean, like all time. And it's going to be interesting to see like the weekend from that release.
Yeah, they're going to try to clear Endgame in one weekend. Good luck, Rockstar. You might do it.
They probably will. Yeah, that won't surprise me at all, honestly. But
I think Endgame was what, 400 million in one weekend, something like that.
I don't know. That's child's play for GTA 6, because GTA 5 didn't GTA 5 do over $1 billion in the first week? I'm almost check it while I'm talking here, because you guys.
I'm gonna do my best.
The last thing I was gonna mention this week is speaking of the end, is Halo Infinite. So not a big news story nowadays, but for those who may be unaware, Halo Infinite is getting its final update on November 18th. So a little over a week. It's a huge update, to be fair. It's a new 100-tier pass. They're doing 200 plus unreleased armor pieces that you can purchase with the in-game money. They're going to move to a rotational ranked seasons method. They're adding a few new maps and some other stuff. There's 8 full armor sets being released. So a nice big kind of grandiose update, but they basically came out this week and said, look, between Campaign Evolved, silly name, and their new Halo project, they need all of the studio working on that. And Halo Infinite's had a good run, but this is it. So
they didn't have a good run. It certainly didn't have the run that they promised.
It didn't have the run they promised. I think in a multiplayer space, like if you look at it now versus launch, especially, it is a fantastic suite of Halo multiplayer, and there's a million different things you can play on that game with that and have a lot of fun with. But to your point, it never hit the target of what that game was supposed to be. Yeah,
and that's a bummer.
Also, the end of Infinite is just a deliciously nonsensical thing. Yeah.
And what do you name the next game now?
No, that's a Square Enix title right there. The End of Infinite.
End of Infinite. Yeah, absolutely.
I got some numbers for you. Endgame has the most successful movie opening weekend at $350 million, which is crazy in a one weekend for movie tickets, because they aren't selling at the same price as video games. But Grand Theft Auto 5 is estimated to have sold $800 million in revenue in its first 24 hours. So GTA 6 is aimed firmly at $1 billion first day.
First day, not even the weekend.
I would be surprised if it was not at least 50% higher than that. I think it might be 1.5.
GTA 6 is going to kill it.
No doubt. Yeah, because they're going to have like $150 editions.
They're at $1 billion budget, right? Is that their budget?
They're going to have GTA Online like bonus, you know what I mean? Because GTA Online is going to be obviously moved with it, and you're going to have the bonuses. It's going to be nuts. No doubt.
There was a rumor that it's a $2 billion budget for their game. Or maybe that wasn't a rumor. It might have been a report or something.
They have not declared their budget for this. So I think anything we've got is rumor, whether or not that's kind of a Schreier level rumor or dude on YouTube level rumor. I don't know.
There's a gap in the word rumor in the game.
There is
for sure. You're probably right though, Travis, because I remember they did some, again, to Hoag's point. I don't know if this is post-launch or post-release analysis or if this is just speculation, but I swore that I remember somewhere saying Red Dead 2 all up took 800 million to make.
Yeah. There are rumors that the budget is between 1 and 2 billion, and Take-Two Interactive has confirmed that the capitalized development costs have exceeded 1 billion, and that was like a while ago. So,
well, I mean,
crazy.
If you can sell a product that is slated to make $1 billion in its first day on the market, you can spend some money making
it 3 billion. Exactly. Yeah, go for it, man.
Well, especially as GTA Online, as we know, it says since this is an AI overview, take it as you will, but it says since the release in 2013, the GTA franchise has made an estimated nearly 10 billion. So
there ain't anything like it on Earth, folks.
That's my monthly paycheck.
You can understand why they bet the company on all these releases, because it doesn't feel like they're betting the company. They are. By the way, if they ever miss this shot, they're going to burn up in a hellfire in 2 seconds. But
so I have a source for this, which is their Take-Two's balance sheets, which are like their costs are out, and they basically confirm that they're already over $1 billion, and this was like last year. So yeah, there you go. It's probably going to be a $2 billion cost all told, maybe more, now that it's been delayed. Wild.
Well, also that you can skin every bit of the gator that you want to skin in the swamps of, what is it, Leonidas? I don't remember what the name of their...
In Red Dead 2?
No, what's Florida in...
Vice City?
Grand Theft... No, Vice City's the city.
He's right. There's a area that they're talking about GTA 6. I don't remember.
The state of Florida is something like Leonidas, which I don't think is right, but it's something like that.
Gotcha.
Liberty City, Los Santos.
You're saying the cities, but like Los Santos is in San Andreas.
Los Santos is in San Andreas? Is that true? I thought San Andreas was NorCal.
San Andreas is the state, right? Let's break it down. Let's go through the Grand Theft Auto verse.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not the GTA
I actually would
expert.
love to study up on this because I've never looked at the lore, but I know San Andreas, at least the game, takes place in Northern California because it's got like a Oakland and a like San Francisco. That's interesting.
And a Los Angeles and a Vegas.
Does it have a Los Angeles connected to it? Because there's 3 places you go to. None of them is an LA place.
In the game San Andreas?
I'm talking about.
I got nothing. I don't remember.
You know what's funny? I grew up in the part of San Andreas that you start out in that game. Or sorry, that it's based off of the
You're
East
a Grove
Bay,
Street
right?
boy?
And I grew up on a street called Grove Street in a part of that. That's just a funny fact. I think it's funny. So when
Travis
they would say
is the original
King,
Grand
I was
Theft
like,
Auto.
yeah, that's what's up, my boys. That's funny.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be a good time though. We'll see how that goes. I mean, it is, as we've talked about, the first GTA. We've circled back to GTA, but it's the first GTA without a lot of the leadership that wrote everything from Red Dead Revolver in 2004 all the way through GTA 5. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one hits in terms of story. I mean, we know it's going to sell gangbusters, but in terms of like the narrative and everything else. So we'll see.
So the good news for them, from my perspective, is I expect absolutely nothing from them on story. Like I haven't enjoyed a Rockstar story in a long time.
It's going to be good.
God, you didn't like Red Dead 2? Come on.
I did not. I thought that was really slow and very navel gazy.
I mean, it was slow, but you know.
It is slow, but it's a Western. That's part of the genre.
You can have a Western that doesn't suck.
I have this argument with Tom Marks all the time because he also doesn't like that game, and I think he's a psychopath. That's okay.
I know a lot of people love it. I'm not telling you not to love it. I'm telling you that I have engaged with it a number of times, and I always find its pacing to be glacial, which I feel is an offense to glaciers.
That's a good quote to close out on. So we'll close out on that. This week we do get some games to pay attention to. So we get Luminous Arise here in 2 days on the 11th.
Oh, really? Yes.
Yeah, 11th. Yep. As well as the next game from Devolver Digital called Possessors comes out the same day on Tuesday. Winter Burrow, releasing in Game Pass this week as well. Anno 117 Pax Ramona for Hogue here, coming this week, sir.
That's right. Get your week. Roman Empire governorship on.
And finally, the other kind of nuke on the industry that comes every year, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is coming this week on the 14th as well. So we'll see how well this does.
Winterboro and Anno. Let's go, Call of Duty. I got your number.
I have now done a bunch of research on San Andreas. So San Andreas is San Francisco. Los Santos is LA. And Los Santos is the focus of GTA 5, but San Andreas actually has Los Santos in it as part of its world. So I don't think it's the full city, but it's like a miniaturized version of it. So there you go.
And they're all miniature. I do think San Andreas is the name of the state.
San Andreas, I don't know if it's the name of the state, but it's definitely the name of the San Francisco, like the part of the map you go to that's called San Andreas is the San Francisco part. So I don't know if it's also the name of the state, but I'd be kind of surprised if it was.
All right. Can I make one announcement since I see that my friend Ian Runkle of Runkle of the Bailey just joined the chat here?
Yeah.
I did want to let people know that he is doing the Extra Life 24-hour stream on his channel on the 15th. And if I'm not dead asleep somewhere, I'm going to try to pop my head in on that next week. So please do check that out. He's always amazing at raising money using that stream for that purpose. So please do pop in, and I will be trying to pop in myself.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. I am signed up for Extra Life this year, and I've done a terrible job of doing anything with it. So I'm trying to figure that out. It is game week this week for Extra Life, so that's awesome. Ian, good luck with it. I hope you raise a lot of money. And I'll talk more about that in the coming week. So hopefully I'm going to do some over the holidays to help raise some money. So on the SG side of the house, we'll have coverage of both Luminous Arise and Possessors. So stay tuned for that. I obviously can't say any more right now, but that coverage will be up this week. And other than that, I'll pass it to you first, Travis, this week. Show me your wares,
yes.
Sir.
My wares. I have Arc Raiders review going live, I think on Tuesday or something. I can't remember. Actually, there's no embargo, so it's really just as soon as I finish it. I'm going to have Disney Dreamlight Valley up at some point. I don't think it'll be this week, maybe next week. And then I will have more coverage of Routine all this month with the big, long, hotly anticipated preview going live, I think, on Tuesday. So lots going on this week. And yeah, I'm back to my old routine, which involves playing video games, writing reviews, and hiding from robots that want to kill me. Hogue, show me your wares.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think as I've said in a number of episodes now, I haven't actually made anything for my channel personally this past week as I continue to learn my new job and everything that's required of me in that role. But I did co-host Defining Duke, the Xbox podcast at Last Stand Media with Lord Cognito of the Iron Lords this past week. I think it worked really well, and I think it's a good episode. So if you're interested in hearing me talk about Xbox news, and I think Cog had maybe a dozen news articles that we went over in that episode, please do check it out. It's on Last Stand Media, and I think it goes live for everyone like now-ish. I don't know their schedule entirely. I apologize, everybody that works there. That's it.
Very good. Very good. Well, okay. Chat, You've been awesome as always. Thanks for hanging out with us. As we say every week, amazing games out there to play, all kinds of things to enjoy. Please make sure that you're spending your time on things you enjoy. That's the way to do it. So we'll get back to playing these games. We'll be back next week with new topics, of course. I hope you have a great week of gaming, and we will see you then. Peace.